Hey, it's MVS here. So here's a dilemma we all face. When do we stop looking and commit to a choice? Turns out that there's actually a mathematical conversation about this. It's called the explore and exploit dilemma. How long do you keep exploring for? And then when you make a decision to say this is it, and you stop and you exploit it, you make the most of the opportunity. And the problem is that whenever you make that choice, you have guilt and anxiety. You've got guilt around, have I made the right decision? Is this the right choice? You've got anxiety around, have I made the right decision and have I got the right choice? Have I stopped looking too soon? Am I missing out on an opportunity that I didn't even get to? Or did I make a decision too late and the best opportunity is behind me and I'm not a chance to go back and look at it again? So how do you figure that out? How do you make the right choice? Well, the mathematicians, I'm not one of those people, but I read about it in a wonderful book by Brian Christian called Algorithms to Live By. The mathematicians have been playing with it and they call this the 37% dilemma, because that's the answer, 37%. Let me explain. What they suggest is this: if you're looking for something, it could be buying a house, looking for a spouse, a partner, they say you should frame a period of time that you will look for, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. And then here's the formula. You look for 37% of the time. And what you're doing in that 37% of the time, whatever that allotted time is you're kind of getting a read of the market. You're understanding what's really out there. You're trying to get a sense of, all right, what's true and what's not true, and what am I really looking for and what do I really want. At the 37% mark, or plus or minus 2%, their suggestion is this: that when the next best opportunity shows up, the best one that you've seen so far, you commit, and you commit fully to that. If you're buying a house, after you've looked around, you've seen what's out there, the first time you see the house that's the best version that you've seen, buy it. Likewise, if you're looking for a spouse or a partner, after you've dated for a certain period of time, when you finally meet that person who is like the best you've met so far, commit to that person. Get down on your knee, offer them a hand, whatever it means to you. Now, of course, there's a degree of fakery in all of that. They've got some parameters they set, like you can't go back and revisit a choice. You've got to make the perfect choice. So it's not entirely true, it's not entirely realistic, but it's pretty interesting. 37%. But as interesting as that is, here's what I think is the real lesson from that experiment. If you follow this algorithm and you look for 37% of the time and then you make the best possible choice you've made so far, your chances of finding the very best option, the best of all the solutions, is 37%. It means that 2/3 of the time you are not going to select the best option. And here's the key lesson for me, I think. Two things that I'm taking from this. One is, it's almost impossible to get it perfectly right. It's like stock markets, trying to buy high and sell low, or maybe the opposite way around. Buy low and sell high. It's just impossible to get it right. So deciding what good enough is really matters. And then I think the second thing that this gives you permission to do is actually say to yourself, it's okay not to get it perfectly right. It's okay to understand that, look, you take your best guess, you commit as best you can, and then you see what happens. And then when you make the wrong choice and it doesn't pan out, you can be kind on yourself, because you know what? It's almost impossible to get it right. I think of that a bit when I'm hiring people. I'm like, you know what, I work really hard to try and hire the best people for my companies, and sometimes I get it right and sometimes I get it wrong, and I'm kind to myself when I get it wrong, because I'm like, you know what, I worked the process, I took my best guess. So explore or exploit. You can choose to feel guilty and anxious about, did I wait too long, did I not wait long enough? My suggestion is you think about the 37% rule, explore for a bit longer than you might think. Typically we tend to overcommit, and then when you choose to commit fully. As Napoleon once said, this is probably a terrible quote to finish with because it's a bit militaristic: if you're going to take Rome, take Rome. If you picked up a copy of my best-selling book, How to Begin, Start Doing Something That Matters, well, there are additional downloads and templates and videos you can get at howtobegin.com.